Okay, welcome to our last lecture on the directed number series. In this final lecture on directed numbers, we shall be looking at the mixed operations involving directed numbers. Okay, let's begin. Now, when carrying out mixed operation, when carrying out a problem that is involved with different operators such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division at the same time, now we usually apply the rule known as the Botmas. So whenever you are solving a problem that is made up of mixed operations, we told you about operators. Different operators in mathematics are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and so on. So when you are solving a problem that involves all these operators at the same time, we use the rule of Botmas as a guide. Now, Botmas simply means B stands for bracket, O stands for off, D stands for division, M stands for multiplication, A stands for addition, S stands for subtraction. What it means is that the bracket has a greater strength. It is to be considered first before you talk about off. Then the division and multiplication have the same strength, they are of equal strength. They are to be considered before addition and subtraction. Here, addition and subtraction has what? Equal strength. Okay, follow us. We're going to explain this to you when we are solving some problems. Okay, as we told you earlier, that it follows that the bracket must be solved first to off it before performing any other operation. Then the division and multiplication can then be carried out before you can now talk about what? Addition and what? Subtraction. Okay, now when calculations involves addition and subtraction, please take note of this point. It is very, very important. Very, very important. When calculations involves addition and subtraction only, we always work out the problem beginning from the left to the right. Very, very important. Take note of this. Whenever any calculation involves addition and subtraction only, because they have equal strength, so the rule now says work it out from the left to the right. Similarly, because multiplication and division have equal strength, whenever a calculation involves multiplication and division only, we also work out the problem beginning from the left to the right. Okay, let's solve some classical examples. Example 1 says, for instance, you are given 20 minus 10 plus 8. This problem involves what? Only addition and subtraction. So the rule says work out the problem from the left to the right. So we are going to start from our left. We now solve that 20 minus 10. We take that 2 to solve first and then keep the plus 8. Of course, 20 minus 10 gives us what? 10. And then what is now left is the plus 8. We now have 10 plus 8. That gives us what? 18. It's as simple as that. We start from the left. We have to solve 20 minus 10 first to get 10 and then add the 8 to get 18. Hope you understand that. Okay, example 2. Example 2 says 20 times 7 divided by 2. It will be very wrong for you to start by saying 7 divided by 2. No. The rule says work out the problem from the left to the right. So we're going to begin from what? 20 times 7. We take the 2 and solve before we now divide by 2. 20 times 7 gives us what? 140. We now say divided by what? The 2. So 140 divided by 2, that gives us what? 70. I hope you understand it. Mathematics is full of principles. When once you break the rule, you fail the mathematics. Okay, example 3. Minus 50 plus 12 plus 15. So we work out the problem from the left to the right, right? So what do we have? Minus 50 plus 12. We take that together and solve it. Then we now add it to the 15. So what we have is minus 50 plus 12 gives us what? Minus 38. Of course, you know what we did to get minus 38, right? Because in our previous lectures, we were able to teach you these ones. So minus 50 plus 12 gives us minus 38. Then the plus 15 is brought down. So minus 38 plus 15 now gives us what? Minus 23. It's as simple as that. Okay, one last example here. Example 4 says 200 divided by 10 times 2. How do you solve this? Because you see, division and multiplication are involved only. So we begin from the left to the right by saying 200 divided by 10. We have to solve that one first, right? Then multiply by 2. So 200 divided by 10 gives us what? 20. And of course, we now multiply by that 2 to have 20 times 2, and that gives us what? 40. That's the answer for that. Okay, let's solve some further examples. Now, further example 1. Look at this very carefully. We have 50 minus 10 times 6. This one involves minus and multiplication, so it's a mixed operation here. Now, according to our rule of Botmas, it says we consider multiplication first before subtraction, because the problem involves subtraction and multiplication. So we need to consider the multiplication word first before subtraction. So this is what we are going to do. So it means that 50 minus 10 times 6 is equals to what? 50 minus, we'll keep it aside. Consider the multiplication 10 times 6. And of course, 10 times 6 gives us what? 60. So what we're going to now have is what? 50 minus 60. We have to consider the multiplication first. Then 50 minus 60 now gives us what? Minus 10. And that is what? The answer. Hope you understand this. Okay, let's look at further example 2. The question says 75 minus 8 plus 12 times 4. This one involves minus, plus, and multiplication. And of course, we told you that according to the Botmas rule, multiplication comes first before the addition and what? Subtraction. So what do you now do? We need to consider the multiplication first. It implies that 75 minus 8 plus 12 times 4 is equals to 75 minus 8 plus, we have to consider the 12 times 4 first. Are you getting it? So that the 12 times 4 will now give us what? 48. So therefore we now have 75 minus 8 plus 48. And now, because what is now left is subtraction and addition. We told you that whenever our operations are made up of subtraction and addition, we begin from the left, right, to the right. So what we're going to have is 75 minus 8, and that gives us 67. Then plus 48, and that gives us what? 115. It's as simple as that. I hope you understand what we just explained. Okay. One example again. Example 3. It says 50 plus 20 divided by 4. Of course, this is made up of what? Addition and division. So according to the Botmas rule, we consider division first before what? Addition. So what do we have? This implies that 50 plus 20 divided by 4 is equals to, we have to consider division first. So it becomes 50 plus 20 divided by 4. That 20 divided by 4 gives us what? 5. So what we are going to now have is 50 plus 5. Therefore, 50 plus 5 is equals to what? 55. It's as simple as that. I hope you understand what we just explained. Okay. Let's give you something to play with. Remember, you can subscribe to this channel and write your answers in the comment space below so that we can look through it and then grade you. Okay, the first question says 200 times 10 divided by 2. What's the answer? 200 plus 8 times 3 minus 6. 12 plus 81 divided by divided by 9 divided by 3. What's the answer? Please, I'll encourage you to solve this problem and write your answer in the comment space below. So we're going to look through it and then grade you. We have a gift for you. Okay, we've come to the end of this particular lecture. So see you in our next lecture. Thank you for your attention.